with the orchestra, first chair, second chair, it's an orchestra thing, okay? And so, and I never played in the orchestra. You know, it's interesting. Why do I know that? Well, we're full of information that we know. Why do I know that? So that was the thought that first came to my mind. First chair, second chair. And I went and looked it up to make sure that I was in the right direction. So if you are into the movies, you probably are familiar with the lead actress and the person that's aspiring to be a lead. And then in the workplace, we're probably familiar with director, manager, associate, cashier, CEO, COO. Y'all with me? You follow me? And so there's certain things that we want to do to not stifle our opportunity to move into our first chair opportunity, okay? There are a lot of things that we do while we're in second chair that will hinder us from moving into the direction that we're destined to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right. Thank you. Go ahead and jump right in. The scripture reference is 1 Samuel as well. And so I love where Beth picked up the story, but I'm going to take you back a little bit, and I'm going to modernize it. So the Lord, who's the CEO, sent Samuel to talk to Saul. Now, you theologians don't, I'm winging it here. He sent Samuel to talk to Saul. I want Saul to be the king, okay? He gives Saul an assignment. Saul doesn't really do his assignment like the CEO asked him to do it. And he said, you know what, I'm going to give you an opportunity. You didn't do what I told you to do, but I'm going to give you an opportunity. And so Saul was feeling a little depressed. You know, you ever been at work and the pressure is on? You may be, on a what do you call it when you're in, they're watching you. They're watching you, okay? Saul remembers, you know what, I've got all these HR files, I'm looking for an armor bearer, okay? And I think that I want David to be my armor bearer. So he comes and he works, and he works very well for King Saul. And so Beth told you the rest of the story, how that played out. I want you to really focus on David's posture while he was in that role. Okay? Have you ever worked for a Saul? Anybody ever worked for a King Saul? Is there a King Saul in the room? Don't say that, don't raise your hand, don't raise your hand. Have you ever worked for a King Saul? Have you ever felt like, how did he get this job? How did she get this job? I could do better than her. And so there are things, once we start that, we start the demise of where we need to go. So we want to avoid our negative T. I'm like Beth too. I love acronyms. It helps the flow. It helps the message stick, right? Yes. So we want to avoid negative T. We want to avoid negative thoughts, negative actions, and negative emotions. Negative thoughts, negative emotions, and negative actions. Because those are the things that will hinder us as we are preparing for our first chair opportunity. And it happens so quickly, guys. It happens so quickly that we don't even realize it. And then when we have been given an extraordinary opportunity, we start acting. So the first, we want to talk about the second chair thoughts. And the first one is, I can do it better. Anybody ever said that? I can do it better. You know, the thing about second chair in this situation is everybody either wants to be the leader, they can do it better than the leader, or they want to be the leader one day. Okay? And that's why we have to be very careful about this, because when we're in second chair, it's our opportunity to develop our experience and get exposure. Yes. She doesn't deserve it. Who are we to say what someone else deserves when the Lord has maybe given them an opportunity?
Yeah. I was here first.
I was here first. Oh my goodness, I was talking with some people last night, and they were struggling with that concept. I was here first. What did you do while you were there? What did you do with your opportunity while you were there first. Emotions. Don't you just love that picture? So second chair emotions. You become angry. Anger leads to resentments. And then you have your passive aggressive. Anybody know those people? Passive. You stop being assertive, but you become very passive. You might withhold information. What are some other emotions that you feel when you're in second chair, when you have these negative T thoughts? Jealousy. Rejected. Jealousy.
Yes.
Jealousy. And is jealousy of the Lord?
No.
One of the many things that I do, I'm also a professor for Bright University. And I always tell my students, people are always watching. People are always watching. And so you want to make sure that you are holding your image of who you really are. Okay? You don't want to start being ordinary because it's so easy to happen. And then second chair actions. You become disrespectful. Gossip and slander. I think gossip and slander are some of the worst things. It's just bad anyway. But in the workplace, I've seen their careers go down because of gossip and slander. And so we should be very, very mindful of the words we use. We should be very mindful. We should have a David posture and be humble, because Saul wasn't the easiest to work with, was he? No. So we want to make sure that we're mindful of that. We establish coups. So we get our little group together and we're talking about Saul and, well, this is what we need to do and what we're not going to do, and you do this. And how is that benefiting where you are wanting to go? How is that benefiting and shaping you for your first chair opportunity?
Yes.
When you're in the second chair position, keep in mind, I keep going back to experience, opportunity, and exposure. When you're in second chair, it doesn't mean that you're going to be in first chair where you are.
That's right.
You may be in first chair somewhere else. That may be the opportunity to prepare you for your first chair experience somewhere else. And so keep that in mind. We want to do the best job we can while we're in second chair. Okay? You see how it all goes down. It's just bad. Just bad. So let's talk about, we know what not to do, right?
Yes.
Can we agree that we're not going to do that? Can we agree that, because we know someone who's in this situation, right?
Yes.
Can we agree that we're going to share these tips with those folks?
Yes.
So that they don't destroy their opportunity? And then we're going to talk about the 8 steps to prepare for your first chair opportunity. So what you want to do while you're in first chair, instead of having negative T, is you want to observe. Observe and prepare. Understand where the first chair is. Understand how they think. Understand why they do some of the things that they do. Okay? Observe. It's really difficult a lot of times when people come in. I was telling my cousin who just graduated got his master's from Notre Dame. He's very, very smart. He's working for a company here in Gwinnett, and he was talking about how some things are happening in the workplace, and I was like, don't be a know-it-all. Don't be a know-it-all. No one likes a know-it-all. Just because you have your degree from Notre Dame, these people have been in this environment. Observe. Observe, observe, observe. You can learn. You know theory, they know reality. Observe so you can learn. And that was like a light bulb. So it's like, oh, I'll get be brilliant for the young people today. So yes, I told them, observe and then practice. Practice. Because I promise you, some of the things that you're going to see in the first chair, it's not going to always be right, but it's going to give you an opportunity to learn some things. Go first. Don't wait for someone to ask you. Okay? Don't wait for someone to ask you to do something. Take initiative. Take initiative and do what you can to stand out. Remember, you're extraordinary. You're extraordinary. And that doesn't mean be showy. Doesn't mean to strut around with your peacock feathers on. But it means to take initiative. Let me show you what I can do. Model the behavior. Model the behavior of David. David was very humble, wasn't he? He did his work gladly, and he did it to the best of his ability. You want to assess your ability. A lot of times we think that we're so ready, but we're not ready. We have a desire, a want, and a need, but we won't put those things in place to prepare ourselves. I'm a big fan of assessment. And being a part of the John Maxwell team, we have an opportunity to offer people a 360 assessment where you can get feedback from people in different areas of your life, of your professional life. And has anyone ever taken a 360 assessment before? Yeah.
Yes.
So you take a 360 assessment. I've taken them a couple of times, and you usually focus in on that one or two negative things that people say. And you're stuck with that. Well, what does she mean by that? What do they mean? Who said that? Who said that? Well, let me explain. No. You know that's you. You know that's what you do. Now let's work on it. You want to get a coach or a mentor, and that person can be someone in the organization who is aware and knowledgeable about where you want to go. You know, I would really like to do this in my career. We don't ask for help. Just ask me for help. You know, I know that I have difficulty with communication. I'm working on it. I'd like to go here. I'd like to do this in my career. Get a mentor. Get a coach. It's okay for grown-ups to have a mentor. Be humble. Be humble. Be patient. You know, David was very humble, wasn't he? And so while we're playing second chair, preparing for our first chair opportunity, we have to be patient. We have to allow ourselves to grow. And then, as Anthony Clark said a couple of weeks ago, remain prayerful. You know, as we talk about leadership, and he said in all of his research, of all the things that you do to prepare for leadership, he didn't see anywhere where it says pray. And I thought, you know what, you're right. And it's okay, and I can say that, because this is the Georgia Christian Business Network. I can say pray. Remain prayerful. Remain prayerful. Make your requests known unto everyone in this room is a leader. Well, I'm not in a leadership role. Well, you all have an opportunity to expand and develop your influence. And that's what leadership is all about, your influence. So I want to give you a couple of points and talk about them, couple of 10. You want to maintain your integrity. Integrity is an inside job, not an outside job. I can't teach you to be integral. I can't teach you to have ethics. Okay? So you want to maintain your integrity. You want to nurture relationships. You want to nurture others. A lot of times when we're on our own path, we have tunnel vision. And so we're not thinking about other people. We're only thinking about ourselves. Okay? We want to have faith. We want to have faith in our ability. We want to have faith in people. And we want to show that we have faith in people by, again, so that first chair person, ask them, how can I serve you today? How may I help you? Did you know that I know how to do X, Y, Z? I can assist you with that. Okay? Offer to help. Go first. Take initiative. Become a better listener. Become a better listener. I do exercises in workshops sometimes about listening. And I say, how many of you are great listeners? All the hands go up. I'm a great listener. Really? As you're playing with your texting and Facebooking and all of that. Become a better listener. Avoid the distractions and listen to what's really going on. There's so much being said and what's not being said. And you won't pick up on body language. You won't pick up on those words if you're distracted. Put the phone down, pull up a chair, look eye to eye. Denise, I wanted your job. But I am willing to. So Denise is not going to say, girl, I got this job. Denise, I wanted your job and I was feeling some kind of way about it. But I'm going to work with you because I know that I have not been helpful to you. And I want you to know that I'm sorry and I'm going to work with you. Don't fire me. And Denise is going to listen. She's not going to roll her eyes. She's not going to have bad body language because Denise comes to the GCBN. And then you're going to grow. You're going to grow yourself. You're going to grow others. You're going to grow the organization. Well, how do I do that? How do I do that? You're going to go to workshops. You're going to come to things like this. You're going to read. You're going to expand where you are so that you can continue to grow. That's a whole part of the observing and practicing. Let me get better. Okay, they played the note this way, but if I put a little wiggle on it, it'll sound a little bit better and it'll be more appeasing. Grow. Do you know where you need to grow? And growth takes effort. You have to execute to grow. You can't just talk about growth. Well, I think I'm going to read this book. I think I'm going to go to this workshop. You've got to be intentional about your growth. What's your growth plan? And then connect. Connections, networking. It's not just about going and getting a business card. It's about making connections. Connecting, credibility, communication, connect. You want to make sure that you're credible. If I see you as a credible person, okay, I'm going to give you more opportunity. But if I see you as a negative T person, guess what? You're never going to get in the game. I'm going to keep you on the bench all the time. And some of you are waiting to get into the game, right? You're waiting to get into the game. Empower. You want to be empowering. You want to empower the first chair. You want to empower other first chairs. And you also want to work on producing others and helping them go toward their first chair opportunity. But I'm still in second chair. That doesn't mean you can't motivate and encourage someone else, because it's all about application and helping others grow and reproducing other leaders and other first chair players as well. So that's my message. It's simple.
Great.
I hope that you gain something from it. I hope that you will apply what you've learned. And I hope that you stay connected. I'd love to stay connected with you. All of the ways you can stay connected with me. And Beth, do I have a couple minutes to tell them about the symposium?
Yes, please.
So, thank you for your attention.
Great.